it's good music, at least, to open a show with.
Gets me amped.
Does it?
I am amped.
Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I am sufficiently amped and ready to go.
Welcome to the show to be named later.
We have no title for this show, and perhaps you, our first fan, may actually be able to name it for us.
Do you think someone listening is a fan?
I think they will be by the time they are done listening to us.
Sounds like confusion to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm Mo.
Hi, Mo.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Nice to see you, Mike.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So,
for you.
Wow.
I'm just
We're
saying.
going to start like that.
I'm just saying.
So, let's explain a little bit about what the show is.
Yeah, I still have absolutely no idea what the show is.
I think you do.
I know that we're gonna do a podcast, and we're two guys, and we're talking about all things in life, in the world. Maybe some sports, maybe some politics, maybe some love and romance.
Okay, don't look at me when you say it.
Be happy I didn't wink.
It's a little Seinfeldish, right? It's a show about nothing, but a show about everything.
That started off with a mean a cappella drum riff.
Yeah, it was pretty badass, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
There you go.
So, I guess the first question when we started putting this together was why? Why make a podcast? Why make this show? And for me, I walk every day listening to a podcast. I put in my earbuds and I walk around and I listen to it in the morning. I like to go for anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour walk, and I like listening to a show. I like listening to a podcast.
You're lucky we're not on television, or no one would actually believe that you...
That doesn't help.
No,
that's awful.
All right, hold on. We're going to take our first phone call.
All right, hold on. Let me answer this off the air.
Answer it on the air.
I'm not answering this on the air.
You can always edit it. Who is it?
It's a Visa thing.
All right, let's put them on the show. Put them on the show.
Hello? Hello?
It's Alice from Visa Card Services calling about your credit card account. It appears that you are now eligible for the 0% interest rate on your account. However, if you do not respond, your promotion will be canceled, so please press 1 now to transfer to Live Representative.
Do not.
You in securing your 0% interest
Don't press
rate
1.
and talk to Live Representative.
All right, you take the call. You take the call.
Thank you for
it's a lot of people.
Card Services. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing today? They hung up on us. Wow.
That's some good salesmanship.
They were not expecting someone to actually want to talk to them.
Wow.
I can't. So literally the first call-in that we've ever taken on our show was not only spam, but it was also a prank call in the same time.
And they just didn't want it. So does she do that all day? Does she get paid to just make the call? Like, somebody answered, I don't know what to do. Hang on.
That could not have gone better or worse.
Wow. Brilliant.
And totally real too. That's the best part
real.
about it. That is the foot that this podcast is going to. That's the first step.
Right.
We're getting off to the right on the right foot here.
I think it's the left foot.
That was definitely the left foot. That was
So the concept of the show is advice I took from Kevin Smith.
Yes,
the great director. Even Clerks, he created Clerks. He's
Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma.
So he was asked in an
Jay
interview.
and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Right, you can keep going with all of them. Tusk.
Clerks 2.
Right. What was that other one where he was a sausage? Anyway, I saw him in an interview, and he said they asked him why he made Clerks, and he said, "I always wanted to see it. It's the kind of movie I wanted to watch, but no one was making it, so I made it."
Okay.
And I think that's where this whole concept of this podcast comes from. I go through podcasts. Do I want to listen to this? Do I want to listen to that? This one's about technology. This one's about entertainment. I just want to have one where I listen to a good conversation with some entertaining people and have fun.
Which doesn't exist, so that's why we're here.
Exactly. I don't know. It might exist, but in the world of podcasts, there's a lot of them out there. So it's important for us, in order to keep doing this, that maybe a couple of people listen to the show and share it via the social mediums.
So you want 2 people to share this on their Facebook?
And then those 2 people share it with 2 people.
Okay, so that's you and me. so mission accomplished. We've hit our goals for the first episode.
All I know is if I don't see a share from you, I'm going to be upset. If there's only one listen to this when I check the numbers afterwards, that could be a problem. So, and my computer keeps popping up telling me that I need to install Java.
The Java runtime environment.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
That means that you just need to pour a shot of espresso on top of your keyboard and it'll fix everything.
Don't say things like that to me because I might.
This is the technology portion of pour where I'm going to give you, that's my IT tip for the day. If you want your Java runtime to be smooth, pour a shot of espresso over the keyboard.
If it's smooth, it needs cream.
It does need cream, but I'm assuming your keyboard has been sufficiently creamed by this point. You've had this computer for about 7 years.
Goodness,
is this a PG-13 rating? What are we going for on this show?
Let's be careful.
What are we going for on this show?
We don't want to turn people away immediately.
Oh, well then let's make sure that we don't put a picture of either of ourselves on the podcast cover.
So what topics will we be discussing?
Likely some football.
Okay.
Likely.
I do like the football.
We do like the football.
Yeah.
We do like the sport ball.
Yes.
Multiple sport balls.
A lot of sports that involve balls.
I think, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about a car or two. I don't know much about cars.
I'm not a car guy.
I know. See, I'm not a car guy either. I know what a good car looks like.
Well, and that's arguable because it's all subjective to the person. Like there's old cars out there that I love that never sold. You know, I think the Edsel's a cool looking car.
Okay.
I like it. But I don't know anything about cars.
Okay. Fair enough. So if I had 2 cars and you could have either one, would you take General Lee or the DeLorean?
Ooh.
That does not time travel, though. The flux capacitor is broken. Because with you driving it, you couldn't reach the 88 miles per hour anyway.
Oh.
There's a weight capacity.
Oh.
Both as it pertains to land speed and temporal mechanics.
Oh.
So,
goodness.
yeah. Now, the title could just be Myke insults Mo for an hour.
Yeah, that's not a fun
we see
show.
where it goes.
This might be the only one of those because Myke wouldn't be alive for that show.
Myke runs from Mo. For an hour. No, but what would just from a purely aesthetic?
Generally,
you take General Lee.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think the wings are cool. The DeLorean's cool, but without it being the time machine, I don't think I like the car as much.
Now, what if it came with the vest? What if you had Marty McFly's vest also? Like, does that like up level it? Does it bring it to a level that entices you?
I'd rather have Doc's lab coat.
Doc's lab coat?
Yeah.
Okay, what if you could have
Doc's... Lab coat's really cool.
What if you could have Doc's hair, though? Because
I'd love to have any hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just shave your beard, flip it over.
Comb over.
Okay, so let's see if this works. First episode Photoshop challenge. If we have any fans that we make
on
Photoshop, if they're good on Photoshop, they need to send us a picture of you with no beard, but your beard as your hair.
Now you're assuming that people listening to this know us.
No Photoshop.
Well, but they may be in Minnesota or
Where
Texas.
is this going?
To the interwebs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where is that? That's in like Nebraska?
It's
They have a lot of space.
It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
The cloud.
Okay, so DeLorean or Empire Strikes Back cloud car?
Oh, why couldn't you say like give me the Millennium Falcon?
Because we're talking about clouds.
But cloud car is pretty cool.
Cloud car is cool.
Car.
You take the cloud car?
I do, and you're making it sound like I don't like the DeLorean, but I do. You're making very compelling
the
choices.
cloud car has those ion engines that just bypass any sort of weight limit.
Any vehicle.
So
why are you back to the weight thing?
Just saying.
You know, look, you're not Slim Whitman yourself there, pal.
No.
And that's the thing, real people. Not celebrities, not I don't know. Poster boys for anything except for diabetes. That's what we are. I guess that's about what that is.
And back surgery.
Yeah. So other topics. I'd love for us to have guests once in a while. That'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
A little variety to who comes in here. The topics you mentioned. I think technology is a fun thing for us to talk about. The other thing for people to know now, I am 47 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You don't look a day over 50.
Okay, and I'm behaving as well. And you are?
33.
33. So it's really almost two separate generations when you look at this. Well, we're not, but we are. I'm a true Gen X grown up. Grew up born in the 70s and lived my life through the 80s and 90s. And you're born in the 80s.
85.
Which is a little crazy.
Yeah.
So you're really on that cusp of being a millennial, sort of.
It's exennial now. They have this micro generation.
Stupid.
They say I have more in common with Gen X than I do with millennials.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, the difference is when you dab, was it for cocaine or to be cool on social media?
I've never dabbed.
Oh, well, okay, so perfect. So you are a true... Well, I guess I can't say true Gen Xer because I think they're the ones who technically invented the dab.
No, I think it was prisoners
the coke dab.
who invented the dab.
Yeah, but I mean, well, okay, so that would be baby boomers because most baby boomers are criminals.
Oh, we're gonna crash down on the baby boomers. I guess baby boomers aren't the top group who would be listening to a podcast anyway.
No,
for the most part.
Not at all.
What happened to Gen Y? Isn't Gen Y after Gen X? It was Gen Y. So
yeah, I suppose.
So Xennial really doesn't make any sense. It should be Gen Y-neal.
Jenny
Gynecological?
Genenial? Genenial, I think?
Not congenial, the way you're beating up on me in the first show. We can also talk a little politics, too. I don't mind throwing some of that.
I think I just did.
I
think I started.
You have a registered Republican and a registered Democrat at the same table, which is interesting. Not that we want this to be a political show.
No, not at all.
In any capacity.
Not at all. We're going to build a wall around that conversation, and every now and again we're going to tunnel under it. You think that'll work? I don't know.
It seems like a lot of work with a shovel, and I don't think you're that motivated.
We're going to see. So. Well, I'm going to stop myself while I'm ahead.
I don't know if you are, but that's okay.
I had a comment coming, and then I thought about it. I took a step back. I assessed the situation.
Right.
And figured I don't want to turn off our fan on episode 1.
And again, we don't know is it's a fan. We know it's someone listening.
Who has a Photoshop challenge in front of them.
And I almost sounded like Frasier when I said listening. I'm listening.
It's totally a Gen X joke right there.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Not a whole lot of people getting the Frasier reference.
Frasier Crane reference.
And I also think it's important for us to talk a little bit about, I don't know why, social media, because it's something that you and I both live in that world professionally to a degree.
Yep.
And it's important to talk about some of that technology and some of what works and maybe some tips for those people listening who, I think the show is kind of about tips in some way. I think we're going to be giving some life tips.
Yeah. I got some advice for you. Dear Abby kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to...
I was hoping that that woman who was on the credit card call was going to stick around because I was about to tell her all kinds of ways to improve her sex life, to make her children love her.
That could be considered the wrong thing to do, you know.
I mean, this it was going to be our Cosmo segment of the day, but it was short lived because she hung up on us.
Yeah, she didn't like you.
No, it must have been the way I answered the call.
You've said that about yourself in the past too. That when people first meet you, they don't like you.
A lot of people do. For some reason, first impressions are not my thing. My wife actually did not like me when we first met. I think I forget, it was Dr. Burton was the doctor who delivered me. I pissed on his face within seconds of being born. So he did not like me.
Valid. That's a really bad way to start things off.
Maybe he was asking for it. I really don't know. It was kind of muffled, so I couldn't really hear too much before I came out.
You need to know. You need to be able to back up your actions.
Yeah, well, I sufficiently have done so. But yeah, first impressions not always the best. I'm hoping that this podcast changes things.
Well,
I'm hoping
not
people
off
find
to the
me.
Best start.
Oh, they may find me lovable and.
We'll need more than one podcast.
Funny. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. No, that's okay.
So I don't know. Where do you want to go to start with here? Where do you want to go with a topic?
Oh God, we're just starting now.
We are. What are you concerned about?
I'm looking at we're recording and it's giving us is that seconds it's counting up?
I don't know.
I was trying to see how long the show's gone on, and it's 454, 455. Those have got to be seconds. So that's 457 seconds the show's gone on thus far.
Okay.
Give or take, cutting out a segment or two of me offending somebody.
And that's actually not seconds.
What is that?
It's units.
Oh, okay. So that's because this is a music program. So those are bars.
Right.
What's our BPM?
I don't know.
That's beats per minute.
I know that, but I don't know what the answer is to the.
Well, it's moving at a rate that if that was your heart, you would be doing some great cardio right now.
Excellent.
Yeah,
well, that's good. We want a fast pace.
That's right.
Because that's what keeps people's attention.
Yeah, I don't know where to go. I'm really kind of thinking that we should. Why don't you open up Facebook?
Okay.
And just see what the people are talking about.
I was just going to ask you. I'm a blue. I don't know why I thought of this. Are you Marvel or DC?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one because I love me some Batmans. Yeah. Right? And you gotta love some X-Men. It's tough. I don't know if I could call myself a fan of a universe or just kind of specifically superheroes, right?
Well, everyone loves the genre. I don't know a lot of people are like, I hate superheroes, they're dumb.
No, you gotta love superheroes. We'll get that out of the way. Everyone loves superheroes. We're all superheroes. Seinfeld used to do a great bit about how every man is a superhero in their own way.
Not true.
In your own way.
Everyone can't be special. No. Then no one's special.
I don't know. I think everyone has one superpower.
At least. That's something different.
Everyone has one superpower.
Okay. What's your superpower?
What's my superpower? Well, obviously not first impressions.
That's your weakness.
We've established
that's
that's my kryptonite. That's my kryptonite. If I have to make a good first impression, that might be my kryptonite.
Okay.
I don't know what my superpower is. That's a tough one. I may have to come back to that.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is. I really don't. I don't. Maybe we should work on identifying each other's superpower.
Oh, okay.
I can try to work on what.
All right. Go. Size me up.
You know, I think and this is really kind of funny. It's almost like we're throwing out forced compliments here, but it'll work. I am amazed on a regular basis your retention of things that a lot of people. Let me say it right. I'm going to say a lot of people don't care about, and that comes off wrong.
Yeah.
Your retention of sport is impressive. From across the sports, you retain knowledge and facts, figures, teams, individuals across multiple teams, which is a huge filing cabinet full of information.
Yes,
and you somehow retain that through soccer, through football, through baseball. With basketball, it's impressive.
I'll talk tennis right now. The Australian Open just started last night.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
That was great.
Yeah,
I caught. Andy Murray though. I think he's going to retire.
I'm from the Agassi generation.
See, okay, that's great. But Andy Murray's kind of that bridge cross generation, and he's just injured to the point where he can no longer compete at that high level. So he's going to hopefully for himself retire before he embarrasses himself.
Okay.
But he lost last night to, I think it was a Spaniard. Who was it? Batista Agut. What's that?
Inigo Montoya.
not quite. No, I think Andy Murray would probably beat him at tennis.
Really?
I think so.
Because his ability to whip a sword is second to none.
But can he whip a forehand?
I'm sure he could.
I don't know.
A sword motion, I would think, is as they'd say in Indiana, similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I would still take Lieutenant Worf, little Klingon samurai action over that.
See, you talk more Star Trek. I'm more Star Wars and Star Trek.
Well, see, I can hit both.
Well, pick one.
I can. What? Which one's my favorite?
Which one's the best?
I think I like Star Trek from the. I think Star Trek has a better human story.
Well, it's based on humans, yeah.
I think it is a little bit more intellectual. Now, I'm talking about real Star Trek, okay? J.J. Abrams does not count as Star Trek for me.
Okay.
These new movies don't count. I'm going to go with all the Kirk stuff, all the Shatner stuff, all the Next Generation stuff from the 90s.
You just sponsorship from J.J. Abrams for us for this podcast. You just completely destroyed that.
Well, if he wants to step up and sponsor this podcast, I will happily use that money to have somebody edit that segment out of the show.
Fair.
Yeah. But, I would totally, I don't know. I would think I would go Star Trek. I think I would have to go Trek.
Yeah, I'm all Star Wars, and I'm from the era that had Star Trek on TV the whole time, in reruns when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's kind of, calling the 1960s Star Trek as like the end all be all of Star Trek is like saying Adam West's Batman is the end all be all of Batman.
He was a pretty amazing Batman,
right? But I would still go out and say I would rather watch another Michael Keaton movie than an Adam West movie. Now, granted, Michael Keaton never had shark repellent spray.
Mr. Mom was awesome, though.
Mr. Mom was great. Beetlejuice, if we want to get into Michael Keaton versus Adam West career-wise, there's no question. The other guys, there you go.
Outstanding. Don't chase some waterfalls,
man. Look Who's Talking?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Bruce Willis was Look Who's Talking.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look it up while you continue your thought.
Well, I'm just saying that the original is not always the best in the same way that I think Michael Keaton was better. His type of Batman kind of suits my tastes more than the Adam West.
So who's your favorite Batman?
Ooh, okay.
So, by the way, Look Who's Talking was John Travolta.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
What was I thinking of? Was it Two Men and a Baby? Was that Michael Keaton?
3 Men and a Baby was not him.
Or 3 Men and a Baby?
That was not him. I'll go through the Michael Keaton...
Michael Keaton had a movie with a baby at some point.
The baby.
So this, by the way, is the show. We're just going to go off on the rails. We have gone from complimenting my ability to know everything about soccer to who is the best Batman, what movie was Michael Keaton in there with a baby.
Well, I think that's what it is. Is a good conversation is good conversation. Right?
I think there's your show. Good conversation.
People are talking, when adults are talking.
You're using the A word.
That's a loose interpretation.
That's yeah.
But yeah. I think that's what it is. It's engaging and it's fun to sit here and get someone screaming at this on the other side going, I know that movie, dummy, it's whatever it is.
Right.
Wow.
There was a movie with Michael Keaton and a baby, and I can see the smile and like the hair. Am I thinking of like Mr. Mom? Am I thinking Mr. Mom?
Baby and hair would be Mr. Mom, yeah.
I think I'm thinking of Mr. Mom.
With the hair.
No, you can't mistake Beetlejuice.
So I just pulled up Michael Keaton on IMDb.
Okay.
All right, don't look.
Okay.
His first debut shows in 1974 on a TV series.
Uh-huh.
Any idea what it is?
On a TV series?
Yes.
In 1974, I'm gonna think like Taxi.
No.
Or something.
This blows my mind. He played Black and White Panda and a volunteer, 2 separate roles.
Uh-huh.
On Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And then he had a little role in Mary Hartman. He was on Maude.
So he was a TV guy.
All's Fair.
Uh-huh.
He was on the Tony Randall Show. Played a guy named Zeke.
Oh, Zeke!
Zeke.
I love
you
Zeke.
You don't remember Zeke.
Love Zeke.
You have no clue.
Love Zeke.
Then you'd know it was him. So
love Zeke.
I
think I was thinking of Mr. Mom. That's what I was thinking of.
Different Approach. Mary Tyler Moore Hour. He was on many times.
But not the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
No. Mary Tyler Moore Hour in 1979.
And then he founded McDonald's, and here we are. and here we are, and we're going to end this segment before we hit every single movie he's
No, I'm not going to.
Because I want to go back to the Batman conversation.
Hold on. One second.
I got to get back there.
I'm just sorry. You have to realize she's having a baby, by the way. He's in that movie as well. Might be what you're thinking. But listen to this.
No, because he had a baby. The baby was already there. She wasn't having it.
All right.
This was not a future-facing baby.
I'm just amazed at how great Michael Keaton is, and we never talk about him. People don't talk about him. Mr. Mom, Gung Ho, Johnny Dangerously, an amazing movie.
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Yep.
The Dream Team, which is actually a really good movie, too.
Absolutely.
Batman,
yep.
Of course. Arguably the best Batman, and Batman Returns as well.
We will continue that conversation
Let's
shortly.
not allow that to go by in Batman Returns. Much Ado About Nothing. which I don't know if you remember that movie. It's based on Shakespeare.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I actually know more about Shakespeare than you would think.
Oh, excellent. Well, you probably have to with a little bit of your background. Multiplicity, a funny movie.
Okay.
Really, it goes up to like Jack Frost, right? You're talking 98 with Jack Frost. And then from 98, he makes appearances here and there. And here's a throwback to earlier in the show. He was a character on Frasier, which is kind of fun, with the Wheel of Fortune episode.
He was a character on Frasier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made an appearance on Frasier. But really, it's really kind of quiet times in the early 2000s until, he does he does a couple appearances on 30 Rock. And then his next big thing where he comes back out of nowhere is Birdman in 2014. So it's kind of interesting, a guy who dominated the 80s, who just disappeared. We let him go. And he kind of faded away and then came back. So anyway.
He Tiger Woods does for a little bit there.
Ooh.
Minus the whole
Scandal,
destroyed Escalade on Thanksgiving kind of a thing, yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to Batman.
Yeah, okay. Michael Keaton, I think, was great. Right. All right, so who do we have? We have Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Deep Batman. We have this Batman, too.
Christian Bale.
I'm Batman.
Who's that Batman?
It's Christian Bale in his Batman voice. He always takes it down like this.
Oh, you did a bad impression.
Oh, the first one was bad, but
yeah, it's better. Yeah, I get that. A little raspy. Well, he has to hide his accent somehow. That's usually whisper with a lot of people.
I guess. I wish he had like that voice changing machine from Scream. Right? He'd be like, Bane.
Bane's voice changing thing was amazing.
No, but it wasn't like that. Like if Batman, if he had that, that's the point. If Batman actually had like the voice changing machine from Scream,
right? But he doesn't cover his mouth, so you can't.
Hey Sydney, I'm Batman. I'm gonna gut you like a fish. I think that was the line. I'm going to gut you like a fish. That was like in the third minute of Scream. I was like, I'm going to watch the rest of this movie.
It was a good movie. I like Scream.
I'm going to watch the rest of this movie, and now I'm going to be interested in seeing what Neve Campbell has to do next. That was my thought as like a 14-year-old boy. And then, of course, she did that movie where she was topless in the pool afterwards.
You were a big fan.
I forget what it was called.
Neve Campbell.
For like a month.
Yeah.
For like a month.
So back to Batman.
Oh, back to Batman. We're gonna finish this conversation. All right. So Michael Keaton, I loved Michael Keaton, was great. Right. And I think arguably Batman Returns, best of the Batman movies.
Really?
I would think so.
You're such a big DeVito fan.
I'm such a big Oswald Cobblepot fan.
Right. Okay.
Is really what it is. Actually, I think Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito possibly. I mean, I don't know. Jack Nicholson as Joker.
Nicholson's Joker is really tough to beat.
Absolutely amazing. And I think, his Joker versus Heath Ledger's Joker were two completely different takes on the character.
I have a tough time deciding which I like more.
Right.
Because I love both of them. They're very different takes on the character.
Right.
Jack really is that classic. He kind of combined the campiness.
It was a good bridge.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bridge.
Yeah. Did you realize that the original Joker had a mustache, by the way?
Yes.
In the original
Cesar Romero?
Yeah, Cesar Romero. A lot of people don't realize that he has that Joker. Painted, and it was just like, whoa.
Cesar Romero would not shave the mustache for the role.
Make it green or something.
How great is
that have been amazing, though? Yeah, good for him.
Good for him for being able to pull that off.
I guess so. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with Michael Keaton. I mean, Val Kilmer... Meh, it was okay. You know what I think the problem with Val Kilmer was? It was that the Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, Batman Returns villains were not really
same with Schwarzenegger.
They didn't really give it to. Oh yeah,
Schwarzenegger was
Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy.
Everybody chill out. That was a throwback to 60s, Batman.
Everybody chill out.
Everybody chill out.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's not bad.
I do a pretty good.
That's not a bad Arnold.
Schwarzenegger, yeah.
But and then Clooney.
Clooney, I thought made a very good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I thought he was an excellent Bruce Wayne.
I'll give you that.
I like Christian Bale as Batman. I don't like him as Bruce Wayne.
Clooney was the one where they introduced the extreme THO to the Batman outfit. And more people were talking about Batman's nipples than Batman himself.
Correct.
Well, so maybe that took away from him.
Could be. We also have, you left out one other Batman. You left out Ben Affleck.
I did leave out Ben.
Ben also makes an excellent Bruce Wayne.
And several appearances in some excellent Kevin Smith movies.
Yes.
Throwback to earlier in the conversation.
So by the way,
There you go.
Side note too, Mike and I are both big fans of Kevin Smith.
Love Kevin Smith.
Love Kevin Smith.
Actually, for I want to say it was my 18th birthday, you gave me a birthday gift, a signed DVD of Kevin Smith, An Evening with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Which is still one of the all-time best. I don't know if you can necessarily call it a stand-up. It's a stand-up.
It is.
It's not
I went
like,
to see him once do his Evening with at University of Hartford with some friends.
Absolutely amazing. He's great.
He was so cool. He came out and he said, look, I just flew in from Canada. The show usually goes a couple hours. It goes as long as I'm not too tired. Once I get tired, I'm done. Mm-hmm. But he said, anyone who's in the auditorium, if you get bored with me talking or you get tired of the conversation, go ahead and leave. I won't be upset. And as the numbers dwindle down, he said, I'll just sit on the front of the stage, turn the mics off, we'll just talk if I feel like going that long. Mm-hmm. And he basically did. He did
cool.
that toward the end. I asked him about a project that he's let go. It's become a back burner thing that's always been on the back burner. Because, one of my all-time favorite movies, if not my all-time favorite movie, is a Chevy Chase movie.
Your all-time favorite movie?
Yes.
Which is what?
Fletch.
Oh, I knew that. Yeah.
Fletch. Fletch.
I know.
I'm a shepherd. So Kevin Smith was working on a script for Fletch 1, WON, they were calling it, and it was going to be a prequel to a young Fletch.
Okay.
And he was arguing as to who should play the character of Fletch. And he wanted, what's his name? Banky from Mallrats and Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted Jason Lee to play a young Fletch, which I could see.
Okay.
I think he'd be fantastic. The studio wanted Ryan Reynolds to play a young Fletch.
I go Jason Lee. I like Jason Lee in that.
They didn't think at the time. Now this is several years ago. They didn't think he had the time had the chops to be a leading man in a movie with Jason Lee.
What?
Yeah, they didn't think he could pull it off.
Did they not see Mallrats? He stink palmed somebody.
Oh yeah,
that is.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
That is just if you can pull off the stink palm.
Yeah.
Or, My Name is Earl. He's the leading guy in that.
He was doing My Name is Earl at the time.
Honestly, such an underrated performance and just show in general. One of the funniest shows. One of the funniest shows for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can get behind some hillbilly comedy for sure.
Okay.
I love that stuff.
Awesome.
Good times.
So my Batman, I think, is also Keaton, but I'm going to go with Ben Affleck as my favorite Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
I like him as Bruce Wayne.
Okay, fair.
The older, distinguished Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I can see that, yeah.
All right, so this became a little bit of a
Batman tangent.
Yeah.
Are we going to fix that in editing?
No. We don't edit the show. We don't cut anything out of the show.
Oh, we're going completely unedited.
Yes. The only thing edited are the sound effects you hear in the background. That's it.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff thrown in there, but really it's just this is a full conversation, soup to nuts.
Okay, fair enough.
Where does that term come from, soup to nuts?
Soup to nuts. Well, it was like in the 1600s, and someone had all this soup.
Yeah.
And they were like, I need something a little crunchier.
Okay.
So they turned it into nuts.
I'm
filibustering as you're Googling, is what I'm doing. I'm filibustering as you're Googling. No, I'm sure I could come up with some better.
For centuries, any food served at the beginning or end of a meal stood for the entire thing. The
started with soup and ended with nuts. Okay.
But why would you end with nuts?
Dessert, little nuts.
As many meals, soup is often the first course, and a dessert with nuts is sometimes the last.
Yeah, I could see that.
I guess. I don't know.
I could see that.
Why wouldn't it be like from soup to cake?
From soup to stiffy toffee pudding.
Ooh.
Did I say stiffy or sticky?
You said stiffy.
I think it said stiffy toffee pudding.
I don't want that. I'm going to pass on that.
Stiffy toffee pudding a la Mo.
I'll pass. I'll pass.
Gross.
So
take it off the menu.
So I've identified your superpower. Your turn.
I don't know. I think putting the 86 on a stiffy just seemed to be your best superpower because
that's such a cop-out answer.
That could have gone off the rails. No, I think your best superpower Well, okay, I got two, and one of them you're going to take as a compliment, and the other one you may take as an insult.
Oh,
so
great.
I don't know.
Wonderful. Looking forward to this.
Which one do you want to do?
Superpower. You're so fat.
Which one do you want? No. I wasn't going to go there.
You've already gone there.
I've already been there several times, and we'll come back to it to wrap the show.
Wonderful.
But
Great. Looking forward to that.
no, I honestly think your best superpower, and people who don't know you aren't really gonna get it, but I would have to go with loyalty. You're a very loyal guy.
Yeah.
Very
that's a superpower? I thought that was
a
trait.
No, in this day and age, that's a superpower. On your level, it's super powerful.
Ooh.
On your superpower.
Okay.
Because if you have a friend and he takes you to a deli and you fucking love this deli.
Yeah.
Can I swear on this show?
You just did.
All right, if you really love this deli, you're going to drive 45 minutes to go to that deli.
Yeah.
Because you're loyal to that deli.
And I've been known to do so.
Exactly, as you have. But on a smaller scale, though, I mean, if someone needs a favor, you're the first person to do it, right?
That'll bring us to part of what we close the show with, but that's a gentlemanly thing that I was raised to do as well.
Well, there you go. No, I think loyalty is and there's not many people who are loyal these days. A lot of people will, for a quick buck, kind of throw their convictions to the side. If you
think so?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Maybe not just for a quick buck, but for.
I'll take it. And thank you. That's a compliment.
There you go. That's your compliment.
I don't want the backhand to that. I don't know what the backhand was going to be, but we're talking about superpowers.
You have a superpower of taking something so insignificant and making it the biggest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, I can do that too.
The biggest fucking thing in the world.
Huge, yeah.
That anthill is bigger than the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
You know why? Because if you take that weight to yourself, to you it's an anthill. To me, it's a mountain. It depends on your perspective of looking at it. So
if you're an ant.
And if you're an ant.
And if you're an ant.
And sometimes I'm an ant, sometimes I'm an elephant. So
there you go.
Well,
I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Put that right on a tee.
You know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. That was just too easy. Some fruit is hanging so low to the ground that it's starting to rot.
I was leaving you. You could have made a Tusk reference there.
Didn't want to pick that apple, man.
Fair enough.
I like to save myself for the those opportunities that you don't see coming.
Well, I think the part of that too, in talking about your superpowers, and part of what's something I take to heart on a regular basis is my legacy.
Okay.
Right. So I'm not married. I don't have any kids. When I'm gone, I'm gone. Right. What mark will I have left? And I think that's part of what we're supposed to do as people is help each other. So
there's that crack in the sidewalk that you left that might not get fixed.
Oh, that was it. That's the best you got
for now.
Well, weak sauce.
Well, you're being very serious and somber, and I kind of don't want to,
Well, no, I'm just saying I think that's important. It doesn't have to, it's a serious topic, but frankly, your personal legacy, the legacy that someone leaves behind, is who they were.
Yeah,
I think that's important to pay attention to.
Fair,
and your actions will define that.
Bam, very fair.
Actions define your legacy.
I'll give you that.
So
that they do.
So so being helpful and loyal and those things, and courteous and kind and obedient, and I'm apparently a Boy Scout. That's what you have to be aware of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll take it. I like that.
It's important.
It is important, actually. Yeah, that's quite important.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What are you doing on your phone?
If you actually must know.
Yeah.
I was Googling something to keep the conversation going, but
what were you Googling?
I can't tell you yet, but we're gonna get there.
Well, we shouldn't be struggling to keep a conversation going.
Well, it was really just you started talking, and I was like, I'm going to give him his moment.
You don't want to listen to what I'm saying. You just want to go along with it.
Well, I'm going to listen to what you were saying when I give us our first view of the show. Potentially first and only view.
Right. Could be a one-time show.
Which is what we're really not hoping for.
Hopefully people enjoy it and can laugh at us.
Yeah. Well, we're going to need, to keep this thing going, we're going to need a title.
Yes.
Which we don't have.
We've got a lot of ideas.
I would love a sponsor to come in. That would be cool.
Sponsors are welcome, and we're welcome to. We speak of that loyalty. We will be so loyal to a sponsor at the right number to sponsor the name of the show with the sponsor.
Yeah,
why not?
Why? Absolutely, why
not?
We're
a couple of guys who enjoy having a beer and a cigar and having a chat.
I think there are limitations to who can sponsor us, though.
Really? Who?
Like Cosmopolitan. I will not accept their sponsor.
Why wouldn't you?
Cosmo?
Yeah.
Cosmo presents two guys?
Why not?
I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
Why not? Gender identity era is upon us.
Doesn't work with my brand. I personally don't identify with that brand.
But you may, if let's say they're moving into like we want to welcome more men into what we do, and these two would be perfect for what we're looking for. Haha. See, you never say never.
I guess
they could walk toward us and say, you know what? We would like you two to be the new spokesman and the new show, Massengill's Men, and we would jump all over that.
Okay. Maybe.
Give it some thought.
Maybe.
Look,
if they come at me with a proposal, I'll give it some thought.
Of course.
I'll give it some thought.
I don't knock anything down. You know, hey, let's talk.
No, there's got to be some brands out there that you wouldn't.
I wouldn't recognize the Green Bay Packers offering to sponsor our show.
Why not?
Because I hate the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know I don't hate Cosmopolitan?
Do you?
Maybe only.
I know you well enough where you don't hate it.
Maybe only 2 of those 10 sex tips worked for me, and it took me a while to really get going in this life.
You can only do so much. You can't build a house with a hammer. You know what I mean? You need a stronger tool set.
Nope. I just had a couple of rusty nails and a palm. And I tried to make it work, and the building fell down. It didn't quite meet code.
You go down dark hallways. No, I've hosted podcasts with the likes of guests like Daryl McDaniel from DMC.
Yeah,
I've had full conversations with him on a podcast that was so much fun, and now you bring it to that level.
Sometimes it has to be done,
and maybe sometimes
it's intelligence and wit.
Yes,
I saw. I mean, obviously, whatever you read on the internet has to be true, right?
Of course.
Something about people with dirtier minds have an average higher intelligence.
I've heard that, and those who swear more.
So I'm curious to know how much validity that has.
Heck yeah.
Well, obviously, it's fucking proving right now. I'll tell you that much.
Wow, 2 F-bombs in the first show.
Well, you know what?
Low-hanging fruit, man. That's what you're going for.
No. I just proved the fact that my IQ is up there with the likes of Albert Einstein.
Maybe we should do an IQ test. That could be fun.
I will totally take an IQ test on the podcast.
Well, they take a little longer than during the show. It's kind of boring.
I mean, no. So if I can properly multitask a podcast while taking an IQ test throughout the show...
Yeah,
that should give me a couple extra bonus points. Like we'll add 20 to my IQ because of my ability to multitask during an IQ test like that. Honestly, I think that how many extra points would that be worth? The multitasking ability. You got to have some level of intelligence to be able to do that.
I am a firm believer that there's no such thing as multitasking.
No, that's absolutely wrong.
No, it's not.
No, I'm listening to you while I'm peeing my pants at the same time. That's 2 tasks at the same time.
I hope you're not peeing your pants.
Is this chair worth something?
Yes.
I am not peeing my pants.
Yeah. So, look, I think that multitasking is a fallacy. You can really only concentrate on one thing at a time. Yes, you can blow your nose while you pee and think about things. That's multitask. But when it comes to work and people identifying work situations, you have to do one thing at a time. You can't concentrate appropriately on more than one thing.
Well, appropriately, yes. But I've written emails while on a phone call before, and both of them turned out okay.
Yeah, but you're not listening to that. You're hearing that phone call, but you're not listening to that phone call.
Well, this is where you and I differ. And that's why I'm saying if I can properly do this podcast while simultaneously taking an IQ test, that's worth extra 20 IQ points.
You would not be engaged in the podcast.
I absolutely would be.
No.
And that's why it's worth the extra points. Why it's worth the extra points. Now, you can also deduct points if my participation in the podcast does not meet your expectations.
So how many can I deduct from today?
None. The test has yet to begin. I said participation, not value of content.
Fair.
Okay.
I just pulled up something just for the hell of it. I just pulled up. I was going to bring up 90s IQ to see where you were, but it didn't really go well with the search for that.
Well, I know that Forrest Gump's IQ was 78 when they showed the line of this is normal and this is where your son is, Mrs. Gump. And then how do you like that impression?
I'd have to go back and listen to him again.
If we have at least one fan who lives in Alabama, I would really love for you to let us know if that accent would actually pass for authentic. I don't think it would.
I can check in Mississippi if it'll pass for there, but Alabama stuff.
Well, he was from Alabama.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I know we can get a listener in Mississippi.
But it's completely different accent. Even though they're next
door.
They're next door.
Next door neighbors.
They're next door. But you know what? Connecticut's next door to Massachusetts, and I'd be damned if I have a Boston accent.
But you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could fake it.
Yeah, of course.
Just like I tried to fake that Alabama accent.
Fake it.
I don't know. That's a question for when we get our sponsorship from Cosmo.
It's not wicked hard to do.
When we get our sponsorship from Cosmo, we'll do a poll on if you can properly fake it.
All right, so I'm going to throw you a few questions. Ready? Don't mess up my desk. What's the name of Will Smith's character in Independence Day?
That's not an IQ test.
This is just 90s trivia, so let's go with it.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
What's
for
his name?
I don't know.
Too late. Captain Stephen Miller.
Okay.
What 97 film stars Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich?
High Fidelity.
No, Con Air. Con Air is a great movie.
See,
man.
this is a situation of me not paying attention. So I think my multitasking is
all right. You
going
mentioned Scream. That's on this question here. How many people were killed in the movie Scream? The 96 movie. Scream,
okay.
How many people were killed?
But I got to think about this, right? So it starts off that poor football player on the porch. And then the girl in the front, and then
we're on like 40 minutes of the show.
I'm gonna go with 6.
Almost
5, 7. Oh, okay. 7. I knew it was close.
Pretty good though. I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah.
What year was Forrest Gump released?
94.
Yes. Well done. Well done. I'm impressed with that one.
I mean, as you saw from my earlier impression, I actually know a lot about Forrest Gump.
What year was the song "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic released?
I'll say 94, but I think it was 93.
Oh, sorry. 97.
97? It was that late?
97, yes, sir.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
What 90s movies featured the Looney Tunes
Space
on the soundtrack? There you go. Well done. What 90s
you don't have to finish that question.
Is the best-selling soundtrack of all time?
Say again?
What 90s soundtrack is the best-selling soundtrack of all time?
I want to say Forrest Gump.
No. No, great songs, though.
It's a great soundtrack, right? The best-selling soundtrack of all time. I'm going to guess it's a musical.
No.
No?
No.
Disney musical?
My hint is going to be... my hint's going to be... It reminds me a little bit of... what's that new movie with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga there?
Keep it coming. Come on.
What's the new movie with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga?
I'm trying to think of the answer. I don't know.
That's my hint to you.
Oh. Chicago.
No, jackass.
The Newsies?
No.
Christian Bale was in the Newsies.
Is my hint to you.
Oh. A Star is Born.
That's my hint. Because they took a woman who's a great singer and paired her with a great actor.
Evita.
The Bodyguard.
Oh, yeah, Whitney, yeah.
That's a pretty good hint, really.
That was. I was going with Evita because I just put Madonna on a higher pedestal than Whitney, apparently.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to do.
Apparently. My sister had the Evita soundtrack also.
So, the movie Ghost.
We're just moving right on.
Unchained Melody. Who sang
it? Whoopi Goldberg.
No. Righteous Brothers, man, come on.
But was I at least correct?
Ooh.
No, you got to remember though. We're doing 90s trivia, right? We're doing 90s trivia. I was 10 years old or younger for half of the 90s.
Give me this one you'd better get. Mm-hmm. I'll end it with this one.
Mark McGuire.
Damn. No, that wasn't it.
Ah.
Sammy Sosa. I'm going to give you a quote that you know very well, and you know the movie. I'm not asking for that, and you know the actor. I want the character's name.
Oh, God.
When I say... Well, I'm going to give you the harder one first. That's good advice, kid. Before that, he wrote down, I believe it was Avoid the Clap.
I want to say it was Jimmy Dugan, but I'm not sure.
Well done.
Is it Jimmy Dugan?
Well done, Jimmy
and
Dugan.
I didn't even Google that. I'm sitting here with my hands. I'm playing with myself down here.
Ew.
Well, I'm not playing on my phone up there. Is what that was actually a brain search, not a Google search.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Jimmy Dugan. What a
Jimmy Dugan.
What a great man. Hey, and Madonna. There we go. We got Madonna back in the conversation.
And I can tell you that a good...
We got Madonna
I will say
in the conversation. That was a good soundtrack.
A very good man and friend of mine worked on that movie.
Jimmy Dugan?
Worked on the movie.
Oh, yeah, your boy from the Chicago White Sox, right?
Yes, Dale Torborg.
There you go.
Dale might listen to this show. Hey, Dale.
There you go.
Great job working on that movie. And maybe we should have Dale call.
If he gets it to this far in the podcast to hear his name drop,
yeah,
I'm going to be very surprised. If he comments on your thing, on your post, and says, "Thanks for the shout out, Myke." And
well, you didn't say his name. I did.
No. But I want him to say, "Thanks for the shout out, Myke."
Okay.
And that will prove to us that he listened to like 50 minutes of this bullshit conversation. That I don't know.
But what does he get for doing that? Like, if he does that,
he gets to call in place of the Visa saleswoman.
I would love to have him on for it. He was a great guest. I've had him on 2 podcasts in the past.
Okay.
Before we did this.
Okay, but you can't solicit him to be on the podcast. I want him to organically find it, listen to it, get to this part, and then tell us, thanks for the shout out, Myke. And then be like, I would love to come on. So this is an open invitation, but you have to start it with thanks for the shout out, Myke.
All right, so fair, I guess. I don't know if he'll organically get there without me saying, hey, Dale, give a listen to this show. I don't know.
This is a challenge. You call him a friend. I want to see how good of a friend.
Not a friend that like follows every single thing I do and listens to an hours-long podcast as we talk about this stuff.
Yeah. Is that how long? Are we at an hour?
No, not quite.
Okay. We're stopping at an hour. When we get to the hour, that's it.
Right.
We could be mid-sentence, mid-conversation.
No.
We're ending it.
No.
I'm gonna be like, the sky is green. You're gonna say, thanks for all your time, everybody.
No.
That's how it's gonna happen.
No.
That's how it's gonna happen.
I'm not gonna do that.
I will press that space bar.
You will not. I will punch you in the throat. All right. So where else?
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
You missed it.
Oh.
So yeah, what else do we want to talk about today? If you made it through this far of the show,
yeah,
you must have enjoyed it somewhat.
I would hope so. I would hope so. Or you have a long commute.
Even so, on a long commute, you'd be like, this show sucks off.
Not if you've gone into a subway and you've already downloaded this, but you have nothing else. You have no service to download anything else, and you're like, it's either I listen to this or I listen to this homeless a cappella group that's singing some songs and shaking a change cup. I don't know. I don't know.
There's always an option. There's always something else on your phone you can listen to. So if you listen to this much, that's great.
All right.
I think we would love to find a sponsor. And here's the other thing I'd like to do. If we bring in a sponsor of any kind, be it sponsor one show or sponsor a year's worth of shows or whatever it's going to be, we'll have you in. Come in as a guest. Talk about your business. We'll engage you completely in what you do as a business.
Hopefully any sponsor that we get, people actually know what the business is.
No, that's what we're here for.
I'm going to be, yes. This podcast is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, what do you play golf? What's going on?
Well, no, not just if it's sponsored by. Sometimes you can say.
I would love for Dunkin' Donuts to sponsor.
Dunkin' Donuts.
We both pounded a large Dunkin' Donuts iced tea with lemon, unsweetened.
Love the unsweetened iced tea.
I'm only halfway. You're halfway through it. I have sufficiently.
You went to town.
I did go to town. I go to town a lot. My wife gets mad because when we go out to a restaurant, I look at her right in the eye. I go, Lori, I'm going to go to town, which means 3 things.
You're drinking heavily.
No, not drinking. Go to town eating.
Okay.
So, one, I'm increasing my risk for a relapse of pancreatitis.
Right, which is something we both have in common. It's a rare thing for people to have, and you and I both have pancreatitis.
Well,
how crazy is that?
The Pancreatitis Brothers. There's the name of the show.
Maybe that's the show right there.
Inducing Pancreatitis with Myke and Mo.
Podcast.
The Pancreacast. We're going to work on that one. But, I say I'm going to go to town. 1, that means I'm probably going to eat a lot of foods I shouldn't be eating. 2, the bill is a lot higher than it should be.
Right.
3, there's no chance in hell I'm going to finish this, so we're going to have leftovers for tomorrow, which I may let spoil, which is not good.
Really?
It's a very American thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a very American thing. If I have a doggy bag, I'll get to it like 7, 8 out of 10 times, but every now and again it finds its way to the back of the fridge. And then it's like 3 days later, and it's like, I can't eat those mussels now.
All right, so for me, I don't usually bring a doggy bag. I finish what's on my plate because that's how I was raised. You finish what's on your plate. I don't normally.
I don't think it has anything to do with how you were raised.
Oh, I think it is. That's why I'm as big as I am. That's how you're raised.
Well, yeah. I think genetics are playing some part of that as well.
A little bit. I'm a big Swede, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But I think that something you do when you go out too is you're not shy about like, you know what, where I go, I want this or this. You'd be like, you know what, get them both. Let's have a little bit of both and bring some home.
Hey, we have another person calling into the podcast.
I don't think that's why they're calling.
Let's see who it is.
Oh my God, it's Chase Card Services.
Chase Card Services again.
Hello?
Hi, this is Alice from Visa.
It's Alice again.
Oh, hi, Alice.
Your credit card account.
This is your call.
It appears that you are now eligible for a significantly lower interest rate on your account. However, if you do not respond, your card will be canceled.
Oh.
So please press now to be transferred to a live representative who can assist.
Wow. I can't believe our first show we get 2 calls.
How are you doing today?
You're going to cancel my credit card?
Oh, sir, none of your cards are going to be canceled. That recording is for those consumers who does not pay their bills on time.
I just want you to know this call is being recorded for quality assurance and entertainment purposes.
But your quality assurance, sir?
What's that?
What do you say, sir? Can you come again? I did not hear you, sir.
No, I can't come again. I'm sorry.
No problem, sir. Are you responding to get a lower interest rate, sir?
Well, it depends what kind of interest rate you can offer me today.
It's taking a whole different
0%,
turn.
sir.
What percent?
0.
0%. Well, now we're talking.
I like free.
Sure, sir. No, sir. Nothing is for free, by the way, in this world.
Ah,
Oh, nothing is free in this world.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon, sir.
The samples at Stu Leonard's are free.
Hung up again.
Oh, why would he do that?
Because he realized he was getting pranked.
So that's not a true point. The samples at Stu Leonard's are free. Doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah. So not only did he lie to us,
He did.
but he also thought that we were just joking and did not extend that offer to us for 0%.
We were joking.
You know, it's actually funny that it took that long for him to realize we were joking. I have a friend of mine, Andy. He's in Minnesota.
Will Andy listen to this show?
He may. I don't know
Solicited?
I don't know if. Sure. Yeah.
You think so?
Here's a challenge, Andy. If you get Andy Mogren, I'm going to put your full name on blast. Yeah.
Well, I did with Dale too. So
If yeah, I was gonna make a point, but I digress. Yeah, he gets phone calls for dick pills. No joke. And he spent a few nights with it. He came to visit, meet the babies and whatnot. And throughout the course of 2 days, he got probably 6 or 7 calls to buy dick pills.
Wow.
Well, he would basically make them feel like they were about to make $1 million sale every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun participating in some of those calls.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I'm really hoping maybe that can be our sponsorship. Dick pill spam calls. They seem to make a lot of money if they can afford to bother a single person that many times
And never make a sale. Well, they got to be doing better than these credit card people who have called us twice and have hung up on us.
I think I legally had to tell him he was being recorded.
Really?
I don't know. I'm assuming. That's why I did.
I don't know. I don't think there's any recognizing who he is. They didn't say what company they're with.
He said Chase.
Yeah, but it said Chase on the caller ID. Doesn't mean that he didn't say Chase.
They could have spoofed it. They
Right.
could have spoofed the caller
That happens
ID.
quite a bit.
That does. So if anyone from Chase Bank happens to be listening, we know that was not you, because you would never be so rude as to hang up on a potential customer.
No, I have Chase for many things.
There you
I'm
go.
a Chase customer.
There you go. So I will gladly accept your sponsorship dollars.
Okay.
Mo and Myke whore their show out to the highest bidder should be the name of this show.
So I think whoever comes up with the right name for the show should be not only get the proverbial shout out, but be invited as a guest, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have them on.
Call-in guest, if not in person.
I'm sure they have nothing better to do if they've made it this long in the show.
I think there's something in here. There's something in this show.
Yeah,
There's something that's worthwhile aside from Batman and dick pills. There's something else.
we
to
didn't
the show.
even talk about sports yet.
No.
No.
And this is what guys talk about. I think this is what a couple of guys, when they get together and just hang out, this is what we talk about. So I don't know what women talk about when they get together.
Well, I would totally read an episode or an issue of Cosmo, and it would tell me. However, as we've established,
You hate Cosmo.
That's just not my thing, man.
You just hate Cosmo.
It's just not my thing.
I don't think I've ever read Cosmo.
Okay, like the cover of Cosmo will be like 10 ways to give your man the best orgasm. I'm sorry, Cosmo. They're all the best. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Right? So it's Cosmo is like the original clickbait. Like the cover of Cosmo.
Like, yes, I have to have this.
Is like I have to.
You won't believe this. Number 7.
You won't. I will not believe it. I will not believe.
Do you fall for that when you see it on Facebook? Somebody's like, this is what these celebrities look like now. You won't believe.
No.
Number 7.
No, for 2 reasons. 1, I'm not going to waste my time with that. 2, when you go to any of those types of pages, it's just nothing but ads. Yeah. I don't like things that are lists and it makes you click through 50 pages to get through each one. Like I used to like lists even on like sports sites like Bleacher Report, but now that it's every single page is a click and another picture, it's like because they're trying to boost their ad impressions. You get 50 ad impressions where you used to get 1.
Right.
You know, they're and I'm not going to play into that system.
You won't fall for that.
I will not fall for that. So if you're going to be like, here are the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, I'll be like, A, number 1's Tom Brady, and the rest of the list can go F off.
Wow.
And B, I you should pay me for that ad revenue.
I got to tell you,
I just got that clip.
I've thought that, and I made a joke to you the other day that you've been saying it for 10 years that Tom Brady's the greatest of all time.
I've been saying it for 10 years, and it was a valid argument 10 years ago. It's no longer a valid. Everyone was like, oh, he's number 2. And that was 10 years ago, before he made another 5 Super Bowls.
But it's also very difficult, like you and I have said, to compare generations. You can compare results, and that's all it comes down to.
Right.
So the results put him at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
Done.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as if I'm starting a team today with a quarterback in their prime, it depends on what you're building, who your coaches are.
It depends what rules you're playing by, too.
Right. Because you're playing rules of the 80s. I don't want Tom Brady in there.
Me and Joe going to eat him up. Me and Joe going to eat him up.
He'll get head slapped once. He'll be done.
There you go.
But I think do you have to make an argument for if I'm going to have?
But then you're not going to put anybody in there from the last 10 years.
No, there's some tough players. Tom Brady just isn't. Not saying he's not tough, but he's not as calloused to some of the things that happened in the league back then.
No, but I think he's so smart because he would duck and cover. Nobody knows how to take a sack better than Tom Brady, and that sounds like a weird thing to say.
No, he can't.
But if the pocket's collapsing, he's about to get sacked. He's not going to throw a pick. He's not going to fumble the ball. He's just going to tuck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Yes. No, I say tuck and cover.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer that, is he a smarter quarterback than Jim McMahon? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
I love Jim McMahon. I loved a quarterback who said, you know what, I don't care if this is our first play or the last play of the game. I'm making it feel like every play is a Super Bowl. That's where we're going to go.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you that.
There's a toughness that's found in there. And some of the players translate. If Walter Payton were playing today, Walter Payton was tougher than any running back I've seen since he's been here. Toughest son of a gun, one of the fastest people, one of the most talented players to ever step on a football field.
Yeah, but then you
played in any generation.
You can still make the argument though. He was the fastest of his generation. He's not the fastest anymore.
He doesn't have to be the fastest. He was
I know, but I'm just saying. When you still point out he was the fastest. Yeah, he was the fastest against those guys.
I don't think he was necessarily. He was never the fastest guy on the field.
Well, you just said he was.
No, I didn't. People can rewind that and listen to it, but.
If we were editing the show, I would call for a rewind on podcast.
But we're not.
I'm just putting it out there. Throw the red flag.
Was never the fastest guy in the field, but was incredibly fast, was incredibly strong, and versatile. He was actually a backup quarterback in the Chicago Bears. The guy was unbelievably diverse in what he could do.
Okay.
And I think you take a player like him and put him in today's game, he can compete on the same level. That wouldn't change at all.
No, he could compete on the same level. Absolutely.
Would someone like Y.A. Tittle be able to compete as a quarterback on this level? I don't think so.
You said Tittle.
I did. It's a fun name. Could he do it today? Could Fran Tarkenton play in today's game?
No.
I don't know. No. I don't think they would do well.
No. Simply because he would be playing on the Minnesota Vikings, and
doesn't mean he has to play for the same team.
We've seen how the Bears defense hits this year.
If Randall Cunningham were to come back and play today, I think he could play.
On the Jets?
He could play wherever he wanted to. Him from the Eagles is the guy you wanted.
Could he play on the? Well, I guess Browns. You can't use the Browns anymore as the bottom of the barrel example because they had a good season.
For them, really good for them.
7-9-1. I will take a 7-9-1 season.
As a Patriot fan,
7-8-1 season.
As a Patriot fan, you would never take a 7-8-1 season.
Well, after an 0-16 season, I would.
It's true.
I'm not talking as a Patriots fan.
Right, but you are a Patriots fan.
I am
so
a
you are
Patriots
speaking as a Patriots fan.
I'm saying if I were a Browns fan, I would not be very. I would.
You can't be upset as a Browns fan. You can't be upset with the year. Baker Mayfield is
fantastic.
It's proven phenomenal, especially with what they've gone through with the coaching changes, and they still came out that strong.
Oh, poor Hugh Jackson.
I love Hugh Jackson too. I think he's a great coach.
Baker giving them some shit though. That was
yeah,
that was a good time. All right, we can talk about football for like hours.
Let's talk about football on another show.
We're not going to do that.
Hey, I want to end the shows on a regular basis with one thing. You and I spoke about this a little bit. I think it's important that while some people were raised well, there seems to be not just a generational gap, because I think this happens in every generation, where acting like a gentleman is sometimes forgotten. Sometimes it's bypassed. Sometimes it's just not taught.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have been taught some of that. And look, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. I have my share.
I'm not saying that either.
But I think there's tips that we can pass along that are good reminders for ourselves as well.
Okay.
As being tips for a listener, man or woman, in how to act. And my tip for this week is when you see someone, meet someone, doesn't matter if it's the first time you meet them or not, when you see an old friend, when you see anyone, your handshake should be a firm handshake and with eye contact.
Yes, absolutely.
Eye contact is critical. People don't do it now. They don't.
No, they don't.
They look away.
People looking away.
Firm handshake, eye contact, critical to do in every situation. Now, if it's an old friend and you're going to give them a hug, that's all fine and good. But if it's someone you're giving a handshake to, firm handshake, look them in the eye. That's it. It's a fair tip.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add to that?
My tip for the day is when you're riding an escalator, don't stand on the left. The left is for walking.
Passing lane.
The right is for standing.
It's a passing lane.
That's my advice.
On any escalator. I agree with that.
Any escalator.
Do you touch the handrails on an escalator?
I try not to, but there's some situations.
Clean.
There's some situations. No, of course they're not.
Never clean.
Of course they're not.
What do you think is dirtier, a handrail of an escalator or a toilet seat?
Escalator, by far.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Because hopefully on a good day, the butts touching that toilet seat haven't been sitting on the rail of an escalator.
Right.
But other hands have touched other rails of escalators.
And those hands have been all over.
Right. No, that escalator, that's good. I think toilet seats are cleaned infinitely more time. Well, maybe not infinitely, but a lot more.
They're supposed to be
on a regular basis.
A lot of places daily.
Than the rail of an escalator. I can't imagine.
What do you think is dirtier, the rail of an escalator or the typical person's cell phone?
The typical person's cell phone?
Yeah.
What's typical? Just
an average.
If I found a cell phone.
Average Joe, yeah. They say because your phone is dirtier than a toilet seat.
Yes, I'm going to go with the handrail on the escalator.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Would you rather lick my iPhone or lick the handrail of an escalator?
Oh, God, neither.
You had to do one.
Why?
You have to do one.
Why do I have to do
because that's where this conversation's gone. You have to do one.
Oh. I really don't want to do either one.
You got to do one.
Oh. Shoot me. I don't know.
Look, think of it this way. My hands have touched my iPhone.
Yes.
Maybe my wife and kid. Maybe. Right.
Yeah. I've touched your phone.
A lot more hands have touched that.
Yeah, but I know what your hands
escalator
do.
Rail. Yes. Well, to compound that, my hand also touched the escalator rail.
So
it's
moot point.
Yeah, it's moot point. So you should have just gone phone all day.
All right.
Should have gone phone.
So we're asking you for a name of the show?
We need a name, we need a sponsor, and we need I don't know. A guest.
Well, let's find a good guest.
It's gonna be Dave or Andy.
Who's Dave?
Did I miss
Dale?
Oh, Dale.
Yeah. Like Dave. Dave who?
All right, hold on. Let's redo it. In 3,
we're not cutting it.
3, 2. All right, so it's either going to be Dale or Andy.
That's awful. Awful. I'm not cutting that. Because I'm the show editor as well, which is kind of fun.
Well, it really doesn't matter because I don't know the guy.
I might throw nothing in this show. I don't know if I'm going to edit much at all. I might just throw it up online right now, throw the spaghetti against the wall, and see what sticks.
Fair enough.
In the meantime, let's get something to eat.
Okay. Next episode, I'm taking that IQ test, though.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
not paying for your IQ test.
You don't have to actually pay for it.
Yeah, you do. The good ones you do.
We never set the bar on how valid of an IQ test this has to be.
I see. All right.
The bar was not set.
The bar is low. The bar is always low when it's you and I talking.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe that's a show name.
The bar is low.
The bar is low.
We have an early leader in the clubhouse.
We do.
The bar is low, featuring Myke and Mo.
The bar is low with Myke and Mo. I don't know. Maybe
that's not bad.
All right. Well, I hope they actually listen to this, especially to this point. Is there any hidden Easter egg you want to get somebody who went to the end of the show?
I'm glad it's not Malignant.
Wow. I'm glad too.
Name that movie. Movie quote.
I don't know.
Name that quote.
I don't know.
All right. Someone listening to this, comment. Name that movie.
They're not going to do it.
I'm glad it's not Malignant.
They're not going to know.
Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy. You don't know?
No.
With Cancer Boy?
I was about to stop it.
Oh.
I was never a big Kids in the Hall fan.
We can't end it on the Cancer Boy note, though.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's a really funny movie where they create a pill to combat depression, but it ends up that the pill turns you gay.
Oh.
And then it also turns you, like, insane.
Okay.
It's absolutely hilarious.
You say so. It doesn't sound...
The pill was called Gleeman-X.
Okay.
Because it makes you gleeful.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah. Kind of a down note on the show.
Okay.
Doing so well.
Okay, would you rather watch that featuring Gleeman-X?
Yes.
Or have to watch a marathon of every episode of the show Glee?
Oh, I'll watch the first one.
No.
Gleeman-X.
No. The correct answer is C. Lick your iPhone.